Hey, it's Pastor Stephen at First Baptist Church Watsonville, and I just want to share with you our Easter devotional. As we celebrated the death of Jesus on the cross on Good Friday and his resurrection on Sunday, Jesus, before he was arrested or taken to the cross, was having a final supper with his disciples. The Gospel of John tells us while they were there, Jesus got up and began washing the disciples' feet. When he got to Peter, Peter stopped him. He didn't want to have Jesus wash his feet. The one with the most authority, the one who is the guest of honor. That was the task that was supposed to be given to the lowliest, not the greatest. But Jesus said to Peter, I must wash your feet. If you are to continue to be a part of what I am doing, I must wash them. Peter, being the one who always speaks without thinking, said, then wash my head and my hands too, Jesus. To which Jesus replied, you're clean. I just need to wash your feet. He then went on to teach his disciples, using his actions as a picture. He said, I am the teacher, the one with the most authority, the guest of honor. And yet I washed your feet. If the one who has the most authority is willing to wash feet and do the most menial of tasks, then you should be willing to do that for one another. And this is hard. We so often look to have the most recognition, not the least, or be the one that gets the most honor, not dishonor. Typically, we want to be the rock star, the star athlete, the famous YouTuber, fireman, doctor, or whatever. But what Jesus did was, as a star athlete, after the game, clean the bleachers. Or, as the doctor, clean up the throw up in the middle of the floor. We think that they should not do that because they are too important. And yes, practically we want doctors doing the things that only doctors can do. But the point that Jesus is trying to make is that we should be willing to serve one another. No one is too great to serve. There is nothing that should be beneath us. Now, have you ever refused to do something because you thought you were too important? Or walked by an opportunity to help someone else just because you're too busy? So often when I walk back and forth between my office and the church, there's garbage on the ground. I could simply say, well, I'm one of the pastors. That's not my job. It's beneath me to do that. I'll just leave it for Noah to pick up. And sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't pick it up. But I know that it's never beneath me to stop and pick up and throw the garbage out that's in the parking lot. Because when I do that, I help out Noah, the service guy. And I help God. I'm serving God. And I'm helping take care of our facility and making our community look nicer. So the next time an opportunity to serve another person arises, think back to Jesus washing the disciples' feet. The dirty, stinky feet. He did this to show what type of love he has and the willingness to serve. And ultimately, Jesus gave the greatest example of his love when he submitted to dying on the cross, so that we could have new life with him. This is what we remember and celebrate during the time of Easter. Let us go and serve and love one another this coming week. Right now, that may be your parents or your siblings as we shelter in place. But there are other ways that we can love and serve one another. Send a text message, write a card, help out with the mass projects that we're doing at church. Or maybe you have your own creative idea that you can serve and love one another. So let us show the love and the service that Christ gave us. Well, that's it. Show love, for we are loved. Bye.